When Oakley announced their version of the Metas, I got really excited because the headline feature was 3K video. But after using these glasses for the past month, I've come to realize that it's really everything else. The battery, the audio, the build of these glasses. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through what life with using the Oakley Metas is all about. Are they worth it as an upgrade over the Ray-Ban Metas, or are they even worth it as your first sunglasses AI purchase? Well, let's find out. So let's start with the 3K video features. I'm actually recording with them right now. And although you'd think it's a huge leap in image quality, the 3K video is really more about being able to crop in on your video. If you're thinking you're gonna get a huge difference in image quality over the Ray-Ban Metas, I hate to disappoint, it's very similar. There are only slight differences. The real upgrade is the 3K video itself, being able to punch into the image, crop in, and you can't really do that with the Ray-Ban Meta footage as it's well below 3K. But with 3K, even though it's a vertical image, you can crop in technically all the way to 16:9 if you want to, although I think it's more about just being able to reframe a little bit if you didn't get the exact framing you need. Before owning the Oakley Metas, the smart glasses I used before were really more audio-based. They were the Bose Frames, they had really decent audio features, and the smart features they got were really from your device. So it let you use Siri and stuff like that. And I've been looking at the Ray-Ban Metas because they had the video features, they had the smart features, they obviously played audio, you could listen to your music, do phone calls just like I could on the Bose Frames. But it wasn't quite the step up I was looking for. And then Oakley announced these new versions of their own Metas with the improved features. Even though I bought the Oakley Metas for the 3K video features, I'm so happy I did because pretty much everything's improved on these sunglasses. The audio, the battery life, the build quality of the actual frames themselves, they can take a beating a lot more than the Ray-Bans can. And because I'm using these when I'm out biking a decent amount, the build quality is really important for me, especially if I get caught out in a storm or whatever. I want to know that, yeah, I'm not going to go submerge these in water, but if I get caught in a storm, are they going to survive? The other thing too with the audio is it is way louder than the Ray-Ban Metas and my old Bose Frames, a lot louder than I had ever expected. I can hear pretty much everything when I'm on the bike to the point where sometimes I even have to lower the volume. And then I found this feature called adaptive volume that you get through the Meta AI app. And what it does is it automatically raises and lowers the volume based on where you are, what it senses, which is great because sometimes the volume's a little bit too loud. And now with this on, it will lower it and vice versa. Sometimes it needs to get kicked up and you can hear it going from, even though I have it on the high setting, it goes a little bit louder. If I'm walking through the mall or I'm on my bike, the adaptive sound definitely helps so I don't have to keep raising and lowering the volume on this thing. As we're biking down the beach on the morning, the next really important feature is voice isolation. Without voice isolation, I would not be able to be vlogging like I am right now, even with this camera, because it's cutting out all of the wind. Now, on previous devices, the voice isolation was okay. But on these Oakley Metas, I can have full-on phone calls from my bike rides, which is pretty insane. So the voice isolation works really great on these, to the point where I've actually had to bring it up on phone calls if they noticed a difference in the quality. And some people said they could tell a little bit, but not enough to stop the phone call, which is great. Because on my older glasses, I would have a phone call and they'd be like, hey, you need to do this from your phone. I just cannot hear you. And that was understandable. I mean, I was doing the phone call from the bike or the beach. And so if you can do a phone call from this kind of situation, the voice isolation is absolutely insane. And that was probably the biggest feature since I do a lot of phone calls from these glasses just out of convenience. When it comes to the aspect ratio, whether it's photo or video, everything is vertical on these glasses. And it works great for Facebook and Instagram, but if you're going to YouTube, that may be where these create a little bit of an issue, and where I plan on using them to do a lot of YouTube content. It's definitely dialed down my expectations on how much I was going to use these, just because in YouTube, everything's 16:9, where since these are all vertical, yeah, you can crop into the vertical video and make a 16:9 video, but hopefully in the future, Meta will come out with either a 16:9 versions of these, or we'll see a company like Apple maybe come out with a competitor that will give us that as content creation's part of the main reason I wanted to get these, and that was a little bit disappointing, but I understand why they did it, as it's made by Meta. made to be posted on Instagram, Facebook. It's all vertical platforms, so they do work really well for that. So let's talk about build quality. These things have a really great build quality, better than I ever expected after using the Oakley Metas, and that was what I noticed off the bat. The build of the actual frames is just a lot more solid when you look at these. And I think part of it is Oakley and part of it is because these are a little bit better when it comes to waterproofing than the Ray-Ban Metas. So I feel like I can drop these, and although they would scratch, they definitely would not break. And I think that's part of, the increased price that you're paying. You have better audio, better weatherproofing, better frame design, and then of course, these work better in situations of high activity. Now, I keep saying sports, but I guess biking, I don't know if you would consider that necessarily a sport, but it is kind of working out. And there's a lot of high wind, a lot of high vibrations, and being able to wear these and use the video, the audio features without really any issues is a huge bonus in these types of situations. It's why I want to use them for pretty much every ride I go on, especially if I don't want to bring a camera or I just want to bring my phone, leave it in my pocket. I could pretty much do everything from here and a little bit from my watch. Now, one thing you're going to have to learn to live with is the actual Meta AI app. You're going to live with it because there's only 32 gigabytes of onboard recording on these glasses. And if you're recording in 3K video, you're going to burn through that really quickly. So you want to have your phone as your best friend, because with the 3K video, you're going to be offloading it through the Meta AI app. The 3K video definitely takes longer to offload than the regular 1080 video. However, that's what comes with the resolution, increased file sizes. When it comes to photos or the standard video options, the transfers are actually pretty quick on this. And then I end up transferring the video footage and the photos from my phone to my computer. Now let's talk about battery life. So Oakley touts 8 hours of battery life in these glasses and 48 hours in the charge case. Now that is heavily improved over the Metas, but let's talk about real world use. So I've done a mixture of just listening to audio, especially on car drives, and then doing a lot of audio, video, photos. Now, when I'm heavily using this thing for videos, I've gotten under 3 hours of battery life. So I know that's a huge difference, but you got to remember that is encroaching on what the maximum battery life of the Ray-Ban Metas were. So there is increased battery life. So let's talk about pricing and availability of lenses. So now that the Oakley Metas have officially been released, you can get a few different types of lenses. The $400 versions are very similar to these. They are somewhat of this whitish color, but they have a little bit different accents in the actual Oakley symbol. And the lenses they come with are ruby red instead of this color, but they're also not polarized. So do be aware of that. Then if you want to take a step up, you want to get the black frames, which honestly, I prefer the black frames a little over the white ones. Those are going to be $450 if you want them with the regular polarized black lenses, or if you want to get transitions, you can pick them up for $479. Now, there are a few different options as well. For instance, if you're on the water a lot, they have a blue polarized version with brown frames, and then there's also a clear version of these glasses, and they actually come with transitions for $479. Now, for whatever reason, if you want to buy aftermarket lenses, maybe you just like a specific color a company has, you can pick up the base level black frames for $400, but they come with clear lenses in them. So at that point, you're either not using them as sunglasses or you're going to go buy aftermarket lenses. Now, my experience with buying aftermarket lenses, I bought transitions from a company called Apex on Amazon, not affiliated with them. I wanted to use them because I wanted to be able to test these out driving at night, being able to wear them all the time. And my experience with those transitions are as cool as they are. Yes, they absolutely let you drive at night and walk through areas that sunglasses wouldn't necessarily make sense to wear in. However, when they get dark, they don't nearly get as dark as the lenses that come with the Oakleys. Now, I haven't tried the Oakley transitions, and reading online, they're touting that they have the same light transmission rate as these polarized ones. So I'm interested to see if that holds up. It may be a situation where if you really want transitions, you should probably buy them straight from Oakley. I'm interested to see what you all think as you start getting them in. So if you have any questions about the Oakley Metas, Ray-Ban Metas that I didn't cover in today's video, let me know in the comments below. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Until next time, my name is Chef Fagien. Thank you for joining me as always, and I will catch you in the next video.